minus X. X. Because you can see yourself a couple minutes. Hey, Matthew. Hey.
Hey.
Good evening, everyone. Hey, welcome back. Sidekick here tonight. Or I'm the sidekick tonight.
You're sitting there side by each.
Yeah, we are. There's a reason for all that. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like a pair of toast.
Hey, good
Well,
evening, everyone.
You're color coordinated.
Well,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah, he called to make sure we're wearing the right shirt.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
I need the hat, but he doesn't need the hat, so whatever works. Okay, hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of Astronomy Outreach, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show. Yay! Here we go. My name is Chris Kerwin of Astronomy by the Bay. I'm a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. And first of all, I'd like to welcome back our regular co-host, RAS member Mr. Paul Owen from the Moon Shadow Observatory in beautiful Hampton, NB. Hey, Paul.
Hello.
Good evening. Good, good heavens, they're in the same room. Yeah, this might be a different show.
Don't let that scare you.
And I'd like to welcome back Mr. RAS member, Mr. Mike Powell, at his PFO Observatory here in St. John. Since I've been having many issues with my computer this weekend, my big box computer is going to be replaced, I think, by maybe by next weekend for sure. Anyway, Mike has graciously offered me to host the program from here tonight, so thanks, Mike.
If it works. We
Yeah,
may end up
it
with
works.
technical difficulties.
So far, we should be doing okay. Where's that going to do less? Oh,
You work just fine.
the difficulty with OBS.
So far, so good.
Okay, anyway, we'll go along. Okay, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, we last visited the moon about 50 years ago. Actually, 50 years ago this year. Yeah. A lot changed in rocketry and science since then. Soon we'll be returning to the moon, discover the moon once more. But what will our missions be all about? And how different will they be from those earlier missions of Apollo days? I remember them very well. Tonight we'll have a discussion around the similarities and the differences between past Apollo missions and the upcoming Artemis missions. Mike will be providing some comparisons for all of us. Final Bud will also be returning tonight. Mike will be providing some... Final Bud will also be returning tonight with another useful binocular target. Paul will be offering another useful... interesting Rosanna's Fun Facts episode to share, along with his Paul's Astrophotography Tip of the Week, our new segment. I'll be offering, we'll see about time about what's up in our sky this week. We might open up Stellarium and show that later if we get time. Anyway, and we do have all your wonderful photos to share as well. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Of course, if you have any questions about the night sky or equipment, we're happy to try and answer them here for you as well. So let's get started with tonight's program. Good evening, everybody on YouTube and Facebook. Great to see everybody here tonight. Great to see nobody has nothing else better to do. Well, I feel like those guys in the Muppets, the guys that set up in the stands.
Yeah, the old fellers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, okay. You doing? You're up next.
Oh,
Yeah.
We got to do this, are we?
There.
Well, first off, how do I share my screen here?
You don't have to share. You can just bring it.
Can I?
Yep. No, you'll have to share to get it out to the audience. That's right. So just the arrow button.
Yeah,
Next one over.
Just a minute, because I'm worried about the way this is going to portray. Let's just try this first. I'm going to pick.
Pick the screen that we're on, and then I just drag it down over.
If I can. We'll try it.
Okay. There you go.
So, we should have a picture of the moon.
You do.
But that's not the one I want. So, that's, where do I start here again? Stop sharing.
Was that the Artemis?
Yeah, but
Apollo you're looking for?
It's the wrong screen.
Yeah, all you gotta do is push it forward one, and then everything will sync up. if you're using LibreOffice.
Showed up on this one?
No.
No. That's not the one I had. Yeah, this one. No. This one. That's where it should be.
Yeah. 'Cause that's the screen we're sharing.
But that's not the one I'm
Yeah.
got.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
not the presentation, you mean?
no, I want this top one.
Oh, you want
Not
that top one?
Yeah. That's the one I want.
Okay.
All right, one more try here. I'll get this right.
Can you switch presenter view? I don't know.
No, I know. I think I know what it is. Entire screen. I want this one. Share. And then I want to go this
Hang
one.
on, see if the audience sees it. Okay.
If not, we're going to move forward anyway.
Yep.
There you
Oh,
go.
well, this is, okay. Well, we're going back to the moon. So this is Artemis versus Apollo. Really, the Apollo landed on the moon in 1969, and the Artemis mission is supposed to start heading for the moon this year or in 2022. So the differences between now and then: Artemis 1 will launch an uncrewed Orion spacecraft on roughly a month-long mission around the moon. NASA won't set a target launch date until the wet dress rehearsal is complete and the teams have analyzed the resulting data, but the mission is unlikely to lift off before June. Now, Apollo 9 was the third man-human spaceflight in NASA's Apollo program. It was the second crewed Apollo mission that the United States launched via Saturn V rocket and was the first flight of the full Apollo spacecraft with the command module, or command and service module, and the lunar module. The mission was flown to qualify the lunar module for orbit operations in preparation for the first moon landing by demonstrating its descent and ascent propulsion systems, showing that the crew could fly it independently and then rendezvous and dock back with the command module, as it would be required to do if they went to land on the moon. So here's just a quick comparison. As you see on the top, as the Apollo went up, basically Apollo 9 rounded the moon and then come right back. And Artemis is going to do the same thing. It's going to launch, which is what, the green line here, I think? Mm-hmm. And then it's going to go around the moon, and she's going to come back to the Earth again, and it's basically a prove-out mission. So both of them were prove-out missions, but Apollo was a manned mission, and Artemis is not, the first one. So getting ready to land. Well, Artemis 2 is the second scheduled mission for NASA's program, and the first scheduled crewed mission of NASA's Orion spacecraft, currently planned to be launched by the Space Launch System, or SLS, in 2024. The crewed Orion spacecraft will perform a lunar flyby test and return to Earth. Formerly known as the Exploration Mission Number 2, the mission name was changed after the introduction of the Artemis program. Now, Apollo 10 kind of did the same thing. It was human spaceflight, the fourth crewed mission in the United States Apollo program, and the second after Apollo 8 to orbit the moon. It was the F mission, a dress rehearsal for the first moon landing, testing all the components and procedures just short of actually landing. And they could have taken the opportunity, but he said, nope, that belongs to Neil, he said. Because they were that close that they could have actually landed.
I would have been tempted.
Oh yeah, me too. He was, but he said, no, that's Neil's. That's the discipline these guys have. So here was, again, is just a comparison between the Apollo 10 mission, where they actually went up, and this time they did everything except land. They even went down over the surface, come back up and connected and came back home. And Artemis 2 is going to do the exact same thing with people on board this time. Now, the landing. Artemis 3 is planned as the first crewed mission or moon landing mission of the Artemis program and the first crewed flight of Starship HLS lander. Scheduled for launch in 2025, Artemis 3 is planned to be the second crewed Artemis mission and the first crewed lunar landing since Apollo 17 in 1972.
Yeah, wow.
So Apollo 11 actually completed the national goal by President John F. Kennedy on May 25, 1961, performed a crewed lunar landing and returned to Earth. Additional flight objectives included scientific exploration by the lunar module, or the LM crew, deployment of a television camera to transmit the signals to Earth, and deployment of solar wind composition equipment, seismic equipment, and a package and a laser radar. What do you call that? Retro
Laser-
reflector?
Yeah.
Ranging retro reflector, so we can tell the distance between Earth and the Moon. And here is quickly, you can see the Apollo 11 mission. They left the Earth, they did their thing, they landed on the Moon, there it is. They took off and came back. And Artemis 3 is planned to do the same thing. But if you look, it's a little bit different orbit, which I'll show you in a minute. But again, they're going to go up, land somebody on the Moon, and then come home. So here's the difference between the Saturn V and the SLS that's taken the Artemis mission up. But you look at them, the distance in height is 1 foot.
Wow, that's all.
The SLS is 1 foot taller. Excuse me. But basically, they got the same payload. They got the same thrust. A few more engines. This one has 10, which is 5 on the first stage, 4 on the second, and 1 on the last stage. And then on the SLS, it's 10 with 2 in the first stage, 4 on the second, and 4 on the last stage. It's a different setup, and it's the same type of fuel used in both. Next slide, please. So again, you can look at the lunar orbits. The red, the inner circle, was Apollo. It orbited very, very, very close to the Moon itself, where Artemis is going to do this wide elliptical orbit. I haven't really found out exactly why they're planning to do that,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a different way to do it. Now, what's the difference between the landers? Look at these things. This is incredible. You know, there's the Apollo 11 lander with one of them standing on the outside. There's the people way down here. This thing is the size of a skyscraper. And the Apollo mission, the whole mission was 8 days, and they were on the Moon for 21 hours, 36 minutes. And the mission duration for the Artemis is 30 days, and they plan on being 6 days on the lunar surface.
Wow, it's a long time.
So they're going to spend quite a while up there.
That's why they need such a big rocket, all that food.
Yeah, that's what it is. So Apollo on the surface joined the EVA, in which both ranged up to 300 feet away from the Eagle. Aldrin deployed early Apollo Scientific Experiment Package, or EASEP experiments, and Armstrong and Aldrin gathered and verbally reported the lunar surface and grabbed samples. After, Aldrin spent only 1 hour 33 minutes on the surface. He entered the lunar module, and then 41 minutes later, Armstrong came on board. So Armstrong actually spent more time on the Moon, you know, with a short little period that they were there. The entire EVA phase lasted more than 2.5 hours, ending at 1139 minutes into the mission. So they were 101 hours, or 11 hours, sorry, into the mission. But they were literally only there for a few minutes. Like, how did they soak anything in? Now this one, the Artemis on the surface, will land the crew on the Moon in the South Pole region. Plan to have 2 astronauts on the surface of the Moon for about a week. The mission is intended to be the first to place a woman on the Moon. While up to 4 astronauts will leave the Earth aboard the Orion, the surface mission with human landing system will consist of 2 crew members who will remain on the surface for 6.5 days. The remaining astronauts will stay on board the Gateway Orion Orbital Complex. The 2 astronauts will conduct up to 4 spacewalks on the Moon's surface, performing a variety of scientific observations, including sampling for water ice. Excuse me. Before the Artemis 3 landing, an additional equipment will be pre-positioned on the surface, including an unpressurized rover for the astronauts to use during their excursion. So they're going to send up some stuff robotically, I guess, and wait for them to get there.
Awesome. Beer.
Yeah. And just a quick picture. This is the all the Apollo teams that made it up and went on the Moon. And here's the Artemis mission team that was planning on going up in the Artemis. Now, I found a really, really good website. If anybody wants to check it out, there's the web address right there. But it's called The Everyday Astronaut. And it's a really super good article on comparing the Apollo mission to the Artemis mission, right down to the budgets and the whole 9 yards, and all the background stuff they got to go through before they launch these things. It's really, really interesting. Anyway, there's a quick comparison between the two, Apollo and the Artemis mission that's coming up. So
That's awesome, Mike. You know, I just hope that they get as much excitement. And, I know it's not going to be exactly the same, but I can remember sitting watching Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. Yes, I am that old. I know I can't be, but I am.
We all did.
And the simple fact was that it was such an exciting time too, because we had the Cold War going on, and you know, it was a big race to get to the moon. But it was the first people to actually walk on another surface. This time around, I'm hoping that it builds enough excitement that people are interested as well, as much as they were back then. And I mean, and I can see that people are interested a lot in space missions anyway right now. So there's a lot happening out there right now, and I mean, missions to Mars and stuff. We're still talking about that too, but this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out against the Apollo landers. Thoughts?
I may have been mistaken in my
Yep.
Apollo things. It said, someone says that Apollo 9 demonstrated maneuvers in Earth orbit only. I thought that
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually went up.
Yeah, 10 went around.
Right, my mistake.
Eight went around the moon.
8?
Yep.
That's why I mixed up.
Jim Lovell and
That's right.
Yep, they were the first ones to orbit the moon
8,
on
10,
Christmas
and,
Day.
8, 10, and 11.
Yeah.
My mistake.
That was because they didn't have the rover or the lunar module ready
Right.
for 9, so they went up with they went around the moon with it.
They should have reversed the numbers. Then I wouldn't have been confused.
Yeah, that's true. Probably helped.
But thank you for that information,
Paul's asking,
Paul.
if you guys had a chance to be on the moon for 90 minutes, what would you want to try and do?
Find the golf ball.
Kicking a soccer ball around would be quite fun. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to take one of those lunar rovers and race that across the moon. That's what I'd
That
like
would be a hoot.
to have a drag race with a couple of them going.
Yeah.
And somebody is organizing some remote
Moon
small,
racing?
like small moon racing. Yeah, little buggies that they're going to be controlled from Earth.
Cool.
Apparently, yeah. So there is a mission planned for that later on.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
BattleBots on the moon.
BattleBots. Okay. How's everybody else feeling about all this mission? Is anybody else interested in following it along as well? I'm following it, you know, steadily. I mean, but I have been with SpaceX anyway until I saw the 3 millionaires that are up there now. I don't know.
Well, the one that got me was they put out a bid for 3 different contracts. One went to McDonnell Douglas, I think, or something. Anyway, 2 of them actually built landers.
Yeah.
And SpaceX didn't. It's all concept. And yet SpaceX won the contract.
But that's SpaceX.
The other ones already have landers. Like, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. But
There are 3 multi-millionaires right on the space station right now.
Wow.
Paid $50 million each to go up for 8 days.
cool.
SpaceX took them up, and they looked kind of out of place when they went in. Like it was like they were holding on to stuff.
Yeah.
The other guys are flying upside down. Hey, how you doing? But yeah, they're there for a week right now.
Wow. So space tourism has started.
Yeah,
Technically.
it has already started. You're right. And this is one of apparently they're teamed up. Another company's teamed up with SpaceX to offer this service. But $50 million, I guess.
Wow.
We'll start there, and we'll work our way down.
Maybe it'll get cheaper than Air Canada.
Paid people,
What's that?
aren't 3 of them paid? There's a rocket that just launched.
They paid $50 million each. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the 4th one is an astronaut.
So
It was a former
3 of
astronaut.
them, right?
Yeah. The 4th one.
One astronaut and then 3 are, yeah.
Yeah.
We could get Elon Musk to put up the front money and us 3 will go.
Yeah, we could do a show from up there
That's only
Yeah,
$150 million.
Sunday night. Anybody want to start a GoFundMe campaign? Send us up.
Live from the ISS, it's Sunday night.
So here's a question for you. If we were up there, what time zone would we be in?
All of them. Eventually. We'd be on all of them in 90 minutes. We're offering the show from, yeah. Anyway, it should be a pretty interesting mission coming up. I know that they've run 3 tests, I think, so far. I don't think that any of them have passed yet. So it's probably good that they run the tests anyway. Better to do the tests on the planet. I mean,
True.
Musk does things the other way. He launches something and they launch, blow up, learn, repeat.
It'll blow up again. Well,
Yeah.
they learn that.
So it should be an interesting thing to follow. I'm excited about it. Just a chance to get back to the moon again at a alone. You know,
It's been
to
so
see.
long,
It's been
yeah.
so long, yeah.
Yeah, it's been many moons.
Arr.
Great, thanks. Just read some comments here. Heard from a museum worker that they told the Apollo 10 crew that the lander didn't have enough fuel to launch back if there were crew on board. Oh,
That would
yeah,
hold you back too, right?
That's right too. That's true. They did. They didn't have enough fuel. That's why they didn't land. To try to keep the temptation away from.
But it
actually
was still
jumping
tempting.
through. Yeah.
You go down in history even if you don't get off.
One of the astronauts got in trouble for firing golf ball. That was who was that?
Young, wasn't it?
He flew up in he's the first man in space. Alan Shepard.
Oh, Shepard.
Alan Shepard.
I was gonna say we can put that out as a quiz.
Yeah, we should have.
Who fired the first golf ball in space?
Thought we'd been back to noon before now. Looking for not yet, Paul. Again, 50 years in October, I believe, was the last time that Eugene Cernan was the last person that walked on the surface of the moon. He was the commander of Apollo 17. And there's a lot of conspiracy stuff going around about, if you go to look it up on YouTube, you'll see the Apollo 17 lunar module launching off the surface of the moon, or blasting off from the surface of the moon. And it shows the module, and then it shows a view of it. And then it shows the module going up and the camera following it up. And then coming back down again and zooming in on the remainder of the spacecraft. And you say, okay, who was on the moon controlling the camera?
Well, you know what? It was a selfie stick.
Big, long, stealthy stick. But there was a guy on Earth that was operating a remote for the camera, and he had it all planned out, the timing, the whole bit. Like, he knew exactly what second they were going to push the button, and it was going to be 1.5 second delay too, right?
Yep.
From here to there and then back again. So it was 1.5 second delay for him to send the signal up. So he was all by himself, and he would send the signal, and he knew 1 second later it would receive it, but then it would also have to activate. So he's about 3 seconds behind, apparently, or 3 seconds ahead to get the action.
He
to
did his
happen.
homework because it turned out really well.
Turned out really well, yeah. Anyway,
Didn't leave it to computers.
no, that's right. Okay, why don't we carry on then from that to let's do what are we going to do next? We're going to do a Paul's Astrophotography tip of the week, I think.
You're doing mine what over here?
I think we're going to do your talk and then a Bino Bud and then your talk again.
No,
I just sit
it's
here
all-
tonight. This is great. I enjoy this. Perfect. See you next week.
All right. I had to roll my chair up. I was comfortable back there. All right. Okay, we'll do the astrophotography tip of the week. It's a pretty simple, quick, easy one. And for those who are taking, this one is designed for those who are actually guiding with their rig. Now, if you don't know what guiding is, then don't watch this. If you do know what guiding is and you're not using this, it may help. But what guiding is by having a little tiny telescope that sits on top of your big telescope, or it could be in the back, in line with your camera and whatnot. But what it does basically is it locks onto a star in the sky, and it sends pulses down to your mount to keep it locked on a star. So when you're doing long astrophotography pictures, you want to keep your mount as steady as possible, so you have to guide to be able to do that. So if you're guiding and you're not dithering, which is what I'm going to be talking about, then you are actually robbing yourself of a lot of noise reduction before you even start processing. So dithering is an extremely important thing for giving you back resolution. Should you want to use drizzling down the road, which is just a way to get back resolution. But you cannot get the drizzle if you do not do the dither. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of what that is. I'm going to share my screen, because right now it's just a couple of words with no meaning.
Paul, I'm going to pause you just for a second. Everybody's saying that they're getting an echo from you somehow.
Oh, okay.
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not sure why. I'll turn my,
here, let us mute our mic. Hang on a second. We can mute ours, I think. I'm going to get the OBS mic right here.
Yeah.
am I ready to
Mute
share
our
yet?
mic, how do we tell them to go?
You can continue. Go ahead.
All right.
Try sliding
I'm
the volume
go-
down.
I'm going to continue.
Okay, so
You should be able to see
three pictures, I'm assuming. Can you?
Just wait
Yes,
to
you
see
can.
here.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And can you see my mouse moving around?
Hang on, Paul. I'm gonna pin that one.
Okay.
Okay, so I got it pinned out there now.
Okay, can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, so what is dithering? So dithering is basically is each time you take a picture, like when you're taking a picture of, say, a galaxy or a star, a globular star cluster, or anything at all that you're taking that requires long exposures, you're going to take a whole series of images, and each time you take a picture, what the dithering does is it actually moves your camera just a few pixels one way or another. So you take a picture, then after you're done taking the picture, your telescope is going to move just a couple of pixels one way or another, and it'll do that every time. So if you want your each frame to move each time you take a picture, it's actually a good idea to do it. So what is the point of it? Well, the point is that when you take a picture, and you'll see on the left the black and white image that's moving around, that one is actually showing you a bunch of different frames that were taken, and they're just kind of playing in the back, and you can see that the stars are moving all over the place. So what's happening is, of course, is these are where the stars are placed over top of each other. So if you were to if you weren't going to stack this, you would have a mess of stars just all over the place. It would look terrible. But because of the stacking algorithms that we use, what will happen is it'll take the stars and stack them on top of each other, called registering. It's going to register each of the stars. So wherever those stars are placed, the next frame it's going to move that frame over so it lines up with the stars. The next frame is going to move that so it lines up with the stars. So what's going to happen at the end of it? You're going to have one main frame made up of, say, if you took 50, you're going to have one main frame made up, and you're going to have the stars not moving. And what's going to happen is the algorithm is going to have the noise as the random stuff on the screen. And what it's looking for random stuff on the screen to remove, and that's what it's going to do. So that's what your dithering will do. To give you a real world look of it, if you look at the other two frames beside it, and I took this from Dylan O'Donnell, and the top picture shows 28 frames stacked without any dithering. The frame below it shows 28 frames stacked with dithering. Now you can see, even with a bad computer, you should be able to see all kinds of noise on this image, and not any noise whatsoever, or very, very little noise on the image below. And that is the result of dithering. So the dithering, this is not using any noise reduction or anything like that at all. This is just purely what you did when you were capturing that data by dithering this. And then when you stack it, it's going to remove a lot of that noise and give you a much, much better signal to noise. Now I'm going to stop sharing this screen. I'm going to share one other, and then and just to show you where you would turn it on software. Stop presenting. I'm going to share one more screen. Excuse me. And I'm going to show the one that we're on now, and then hopefully I can shrink it down and hide that and turn that off, and then find this. There we go. So to dither, you have to be guiding. And when you guide, you're going to be using what they call, most people are using PhD2 guiding. And that's what this is right here. So this is the guiding system that you'll see. I'll make that bigger so you can see it better. So basically, when you set up your camera and whatnot, you're going to go to the little brain that's down here, and you're going to go over to where it says guiding. And excuse me, I'm having the same problems that Mike's having there. Camera's not connected. Okay. Calibration. Can't even see anymore. Cameras. Okay, I see it timed itself out on it. Oh, darn. It's probably right in front of me and I just don't see it. All right. But in any event, that's where you would go. You go down to the little brain down there, and when I have my camera and stuff hooked up, a little calibration will come up, and it'll say dithering, and it'll actually then you can get to turn your dithering on from that point. I'm surprised I just don't see it. Star detection, specific, and yeah, for some reason it's not showing up there, but that's okay. In your software, which is I use Sequence Generator Pro, but in any software that you're setting up your gear, you're going to be setting up your camera, if you're using filters, your focuser, your telescope, your plate solving, and your auto guider. So right there, when you go to the auto guider section, you're going to look for where it says dithering options, which is right there in this particular case. And I'm using PhD2 for my guiding. And so I turn on my dithering options, and then you'll get a list of different amounts of dither that you can do. That just simply means how much do I want my telescope to move? How many pixels do I want it to move? So depending on what if you're using a really long telescope like a C8, 2000 millimeters, you just want a small dither. But the smaller that your telescope gets, you want to start to increase your dither amount, because you have to make a movement of some sort. Usually it's in most cases a medium dither will work well, and that's going to give you about probably 7 to 10 pixels is what you're actually moving. So that's anyway. So when you're setting up your stuff with your software, just make sure that you have your dithering turned on, and then you have it, and you can have it also. How often do you want to dither? I dither at every frame, but some people dither every 3. I just dither every frame because I want the most possible best signal noise I can get when I do that. So again, so that is the purpose of dithering. So if you're not dithering, let me just get back to this and back to the meeting and stop sharing. And give me a sec so I can find where the meeting went to. There we are. So if you're not dithering, start dithering, because it will give you a much, much nicer master frame to start processing. That's my astrophotography tip of the week.
Good stuff, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That works.
it works, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of echo there earlier, but I guess it's all worked out now, so it's good. But great talk. Dithering.
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 Oh, dither.
Oh, dither. Okay. All right, from there, then we're going to go to Vinyl Bud.
We have to
I'm going to switch positions here.
unsnap him.
I should mention, too, that we are live tonight, obviously. I'm going to unpin Paul here.
Yeah.
How do I do that? How do I unpin Paul?
I don't know.
Maybe you got to pin us.
How do we unpin Paul?
There we go. That's better. Hey.
There, consider yourself unpinned.
So we are live tonight, and I was setting up some of the software in Mike's computers, and there's a few settings here that weren't quite right, so I had to change around a few things. I don't know if we're getting any buffering tonight, but I'm not going to worry about it. Nobody's mentioned it, so that's what happens when you go live. But we'd like to see the comments coming back to let us know that you're getting the best out of the show. So
Much appreciated.
yes. Okay, Mike, I hand to you. Vinyl Bud.
Vinyl Bud. Try this again.
We're going to do an advertising for Tim Hortons there.
Presentez-vous. Entire screen. I want to put us on this one. Share. And then I'm going to go this one. Start from the beginning. And I end up with the wrong screen again. But that's okay. Now that you already know the target of the week this week by Vinyl Bud is the Beehive Cluster.
Oh, we are.
Beehive.
Oh, Beehive, yeah. All right, Messier 44 M44, also known as the Beehive Cluster, is an open star cluster in the constellation Cancer. M44 is a bright, large cluster, an apparent magnitude of 3.7. It lies a distance of 577 light years from Earth, and M44 is one of the nearest open clusters to the Earth and can be seen without binoculars as a blurry patch in the sky with the naked eye, but the cluster is definitely best seen with a pair of binoculars.
Exchange button.
Okay. There, how's that look? Is that better? How do I find it in the sky? If you went outside at 10 o'clock tonight and the clouds were not out there, and oriented yourself at 215 degrees southwest, and look up, you will see the bright star Pollux and the bright star Regulus. If you drew a line between the two from Leo and Gemini, you would basically, about halfway down, just drop a little bit, you'll hit M44. It's a pretty easy target to find. It's a big target in the sky. This is what you will see, but not in a pair of binoculars, but it is a beautiful, beautiful cluster. Lots of stars and very bright. In 10 by 50 binoculars, this is going to be your view. So you can't miss it. It jumps out and stands out from the background stars perfectly. And compared to the full moon, it's at least probably 3 full moons in full-size diameter. So, and of course, this season is coming, so be prepared.
Be prepared. Oh.
There's not one of us out there that hasn't had that happen.
Beehive. Be prepared.
And that's our binocular target of the week by Bada Bud.
Awesome.
So that's the buzz.
Yes, it does. Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. Okay, I guess we're ready for Rosanna's fun fact maybe next, and then we'll go with some photos after that. We've got time. We're probably going to end on time tonight. Pretty
Did my
close.
echo come back? Somebody said? Did my
Yeah,
echo-
that's because we're not muted at this end. As soon as you start to talk, we'll mute and you should be fine.
All right.
Yeah. So,
All right, well, give me a centon here and I'll get Rosanna's fun facts ready to go. All right, so I'm going to share my screen one more time. And we're going to look at this week's.
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Oh, we are simpletons by times. I love it. Well, welcome back, Rosanna. She actually has an excellent fun fact this week, which actually ties in to what we were talking about earlier in our talk. So this is going to work out very, very nicely, or portions thereof. So let's get right into it. So she goes, spring. Venus is in the morning sky. The birds are singing. Twitter patient, I like that. Twitter patient has begun. And to quote Tennyson, in the spring, a young man's fancy lightly turns to the thoughts of love. And perhaps those thoughts, or the intended recipient of those thoughts, starts thinking about a round object holding a diamond. Well, how about a planet that rains down not diamonds, but rubies and sapphires? Now, that is a conclusion of astronomers who have developed a detailed 3D model of the atmosphere, WASP 121b, which is a hot Jupiter around 850 light years from Earth. There it is there. Using a spectroscopic camera aboard the Hubble Space Telescope, a team from MIT discovered that WASP, W-A-S-P, is a bit more massive than Jupiter, although another source stated it was twice as massive, and is so close to host star that it orbits in just 30 hours, one of the shortest orbits to be detected so far. So this here is a hot and cold artist impression of the exoplanet WASP 121b and its host star. Now, the team studied both the night side of the exoplanet, which also faces away from the star, and its blistering hot day side, which always faces the star. Think of our Earth and the moon. We never see it. We never see the far side of the moon from Earth. Their observations allowed them to model the atmosphere of the gas giant exoplanet. Even more exciting, the team is the first to track the water cycle on a planet outside the solar system. Their study reveals how water and metal is transported between the exoplanet's hot and cold sides, and also reveals conditions so extreme that the hot Jupiter's night side could experience rains and liquid metal, ruby and sapphire. Talk about a hot mess. Now, this is an artist's rendition of the tidal distortions on WASP 112b. That was the image that I just showed you before. So you can see how distorted that actually gets. So the exoplanet's proximity to its star and the fact that it is tidally locked results in extreme conditions with temperatures as high as 3,500 Kelvin on the day side makes it hot enough to vaporize metals. Previous studies have indicated that the presence of heavy metals in the day side atmosphere This means that the metal clouds would be brown across the night side hemisphere by winds on the planet in excess of 18,000 kilometers an hour. This gives new meaning to the weather report forecasting a heavy breeze. Now, let me see if I can make this happen. Okay, so she wanted me to play this video. So there's the day and the nighttime temperatures that you can see as it's going around. And it's actually quite fascinating to sit and watch it for a little bit. So that was that video. So let's get rid of that one. And let's get back to, oops, I'm gonna find that, get that back up there. 1 second. Did that work? Where did she go? Uh-oh. Oh, I lost her. I lost her, then I found her. Just give me 1 sec. I'll get that back up there. And whoops. There she is. No. We'll get back to where we were. Get back to once where we were. Okay, there we go. So previous observations showed that the titanium was missing from the atmosphere, but in its chemical cousin vanadium, there we go, was present. The researchers felt that since these two atoms are chemically similar, it was odd that they had observed one but not the other. Now, recent new data revealed that the temperatures on the night side hemisphere drop low enough for titanium and aluminum gas to precipitate and rain down to deeper layers of the atmosphere, whereas vanadium precipitates at even lower temperatures, making it harder for it to rain out. Combined with the absence of these metals and gas phase at the day-night terminator, the team concluded that the titanium and aluminum are indeed raining down on the night side. Now, as my brother Root put it, hey, a planet with a titanium ring sounds like a missed opportunity for an 80s band. Titanium ring meets Iron Maiden. Mikhail Evans, one of the researchers, also stated aluminum would probably condense in the form of corundum, which is an aluminum oxide. Now, when traces of elements like coronium, iron, and titanium are included in corundum, it becomes the gems ruby and sapphire. So it could be raining droplets of ruby and sapphire on the night side hemisphere. That will be cool enough. That will be cool, although dramatic and violent storm. Now, speaking of storms, 4 lightning bolts struck the launch pad of the Mega Moon rocket during tests on April the 2nd at Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral. The rocket, part of the Artemis 1 mission to deliver humans to the moon, is the world's most powerful and stands at 322 feet, 98 meters tall. Now, there are three of the strikes which zapped Tower 2 were low intensity, NASA said in a statement. The fourth, a higher intensity bolt, struck Tower 1. At the time, the Orion spacecraft, where the crew will sit, and Space Launch System, the giant rocket, were powered up on the launch pad 39B during a so-called wet dress rehearsal. The dress rehearsal stopped on Sunday, April the 3rd, due to an issue with 2 fans that are needed to provide positive pressure to the enclosed areas within a mobile launcher and keep out hazardous gases, NASA said in another statement. Another item that popped up in the emails last week was the news that we have reached 5,000 discovered planets. A really neat animation of the discoveries was posted on Twitter, and it is where we're all stuck around the same star, which of course makes no sense, but it is really fun to watch. I think it starts in 1985. Now let me see if I can get that without, there we go. So they are all going round and round and round, and one is just kind of hanging in there. Pretty cool. Okay, so that would put us back to, there we go. Okay, so And for you coders out there, of which I am not one, if you go there, and there's one thing you want to show. Actually, I'm not going to show that one because it is for coders. So you will find a repository that explains how to make a map of the solar system using open source code data from NASA, where there are special instructions for beginners. However, I think possibly I need a few years in university level computer science courses to become a beginner. But it does look like a fun project to tackle. I have to say a big thanks here to my brothers Chris and Rupert. They both love astronomy, proofread my fun facts, and send along any interesting items that come along. I'm away next week, so here's an early happy Easter wishes to all. And that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Yay!
Hey,
That's awesome.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Easter. It's and so next week there is not going to be Rosanna's fun fact because Rosanna is going to be away. So so we'll just fill up the time with something else. But we are on the list.
She deserves a break for sure. Everybody does. More than we do, probably.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Rosanna. That
Thank you,
was
Rosanna.
amazing as usual.
Awesome
Oh, yeah.
as well again.
Raining rubies. Wow.
Yeah.
Lunar
Wow.
Ruby, yes.
Okay. We're going to move on to photos then. Looks like we're going to end almost on time tonight. Well,
Yeah.
I say that's why I never say in my post now anymore. I don't say 1 hour family friendly. I just say family friendly show.
This is a high-speed computer.
This is a high speed.
RRR.
What were those two guys' names? So yeah, there's a trivia question. Who were the two guys on the Muppets up in the gallery?
Waldo,
Waldo and
Historia.
Waldo, and
Waldorf and Astoria. Okay, can I come up with pictures now? I
Yeah,
gotta share
double
my
click any
screen.
one of them and
First
you're
of
good to go.
First I'll share the screen so everybody can see them.
I saw them when I was in Disneyland.
Did you?
Yeah, they went into a theater and there they were hanging on the wall.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Okay, we got some photos here to share tonight. We'll start with this one from Duckman Arsenault. Duckman, that's what he calls himself anyway.
Cool.
She or he, I think, like. Anyway, Sunday morning at 6 a.m., it's last Sunday, April 6th, above Fort Howe. So we got Venus and Mars and Saturn sitting
You
there.
scroll, zoom. There you go.
There we go, look at that.
There we go. Now you can see it.
Now you can see them.
You guys scroll back for the next picture.
Yeah,
That is nice.
that's nice, eh?
Yeah.
Doesn't have a cloud in the middle of it like theirs did.
That's unfair. Okay, we got this one from Jason Dane. Jason says, after a Milky Way session early this morning, I was able to catch Venus, Saturn, and Mars rising over the Atlantic Ocean. Venus is the brightest object on the left, and Saturn and Mars are the two brightest planets close together, above and to the right. Saturn is sitting just above Mars in the image. This is a 2-second exposure, taken at 135 millimeter, f2.8, ISO 6400, and a Nikon D850.
You definitely got them.
You got them.
Awesome shot.
Yeah, beautiful. Taken just at the break of astronomical twilight. He said this morning, that was April 5th at 5:17 from Peggy's Cove.
Nice shot.
Yeah.
There it is.
And he sent this one in too.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one more he said I did on the weekend. I'll zoom in on that one a bit. Ophiuchi, I guess it's called, rising over the Atlantic Ocean at Beach Meadows, Queens County, Nova Scotia. Wow. This image is called a deepscape. It combines a deep sky object with a landscape. The image is taken from the same tripod location with the same camera and lens. In this case, a Nikon D850A with a Samyang 135mm f2 lens on an Ioptron Skyguider ProStar tracker. The foreground is a single 3-minute exposure at ISO 1600 f2.8. The sky is about 30 minutes worth of 30-second tracked exposures at ISO 3200. The sky images were stacked and processed in PixInsight and then combined with the foreground and finished in Adobe Photoshop.
Wow.
Amazing capture, eh?
Is it ever? Look at the dust lanes.
Yeah.
It's crazy in that
Yeah, it's nice.
Beautiful. Good job. Thanks, Jason, as always. Appreciate your photos. Keep sending them in. We got this one from Matthew Dupre.
Oh, nice.
And Matthew says, Whirlpool Galaxy got almost 3 hours exposure time on it. Last night, I used my Celestron 9 1/4 Edge HD and Hyperstar and my Canon T7i.
Oh, good.
Beauty.
Yes.
Thanks, Matthew. And he said he got this moon shot too. So I'm showing a few of the moon photos, not all of them, that were entered for the contest coming up. I'm going to show a few each week, and then I'll put them all together as a package at the end. But he sent this one in, got my moon photo for the contest. He said, I took this one last night, the other night. I got it by taking a video and stacking 300 frames in auto stacker and processing it in Registacks. Thanks for all the facts, folks, because it's great to be able to share that information. People can go back at these videos later and pick up the information as well. So if you have the opportunity to include some description, that's great. And another great shot, Matthew. Thanks for that. Winston Koch sent these in. He said, I took this tonight, Wednesday. He said it's a little bit out of focus, but good for me. Actually, it's pretty good anyway.
Yeah.
He's got
Is
something.
that the
Yeah,
ISS?
it looks like the ISS going, yeah.
Nice shot.
Nicely
The
done.
reflections off the water, man. It's crystal clear, even
Yeah.
the stars. That's cool.
Great stuff, Winston. Another one here from him as well. The Ryan, of course, sitting there by the tree.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Nice
3
shot.
stars to the left, follow them over. There's Sirius.
Serious.
Follow them straight up here. There's Castor and Pollux. You've got almost all the
He's got the better part of the.
lunar hexagon in there.
Yeah.
There's Aldebaran and Taurus. There's the moon sitting there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And of course the Pleiades just passed it here. So nice job.
Very nice.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. Always love getting the photos. Okay, next up. Gets this one from Carrie Ann Moraes, I'll say. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. She said, I just wanted to share this. It's not amazing quality, but just thought it was pretty neat. And it is.
The eagle has not quite landed.
Yeah, yeah, the eagle's landing.
That's a cool shot.
Nice. Well done. Thank you. Okay, we'll move from there to Jamie. Jamie's on here tonight. Jamie, why not? Hi, Chris. I think Ryan. Oh, I'm gonna get to that one next. Let's do that one first. Actually, how do we get to that? Right here. There it is. Yeah. She says, I think my Ryan Nebula photo was missed last week, which is fine. Just yeah, I do miss. I apologize if I do miss photos, but they come in from 7 different directions, and sometimes I do miss the odd one. Anyway, there was a ton of gorgeous aurora photos last week. Of course, I will include the Orion with my latest. It's Orion.
Nice capture.
Yeah, and the moon shot there as well. Nicely done.
Very nicely done.
Yeah, very nice.
Good detail right along the Terminator.
Waxing
Great.
crescent, nice, eh?
Yeah.
Beautiful phase of the moon. Thanks, Jamie. From there, we're going to go to, who we got? Ian Bloom. Ian Bloom sent this one in. Taken from my backyard observatory in Ravenswood, Victoria, Australia.
Wow.
Wow.
Does that mean the moon's upside
The
down?
moon's upside downy.
Yes.
My 700D Canon coupled to my HD 1400 Pro Celestron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that'll bring it.
Details in the craters.
That'll bring
That's
it
something,
detail.
eh?
Yeah.
With terraced walls, you can really see them.
Gorgeous.
The spike, the rays coming out from them, ejector rays.
Mm-hmm.
The moon never gets old.
Never gets old.
Ever gets old.
Well, it gets old. Every day it gets older, but.
Yeah, but not to look. You gotta get a slap. Can I slap him on screen?
You could probably slap me now, nobody can see me.
Yeah.
There, yeah. I just got slapped. I just got slapped in the face by. No, we won't go there tonight.
No.
David Smerd. He's up next, I believe. Yep, there's David. David, nice thin moon,
Well, that's thin.
thin slice of moon.
Awesome.
That's a tough
Very
one to
nice.
get. And there's another one.
Yes, sir.
There's some detail. Yeah.
Nice shots,
You
Dave.
can see the different phases throughout the day when you can see in the daytime, and or when it's still a little light.
Mercury was standing right out there nicely. And he sent us a shot of the sun.
Yeah, he's been busy with the sun
He has
lately.
been.
Yeah, he is.
Nice
Sunshots.
shots.
Doing a lot of stuff at the sun. Well, that's a little 60 millimeter scope too.
Yeah.
He's doing really
That
well
was
with that.
excellent.
And he's got this one. He said today's moon, April 9th. That was the other day. Of course, picture taken mid-afternoon. Not much going on in the sun, so we did not take any pictures of it. Visually, there's no sunspots. And then clouds are coming in with rain. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that Ioptron Pro mount cube with a solar scope of 60 millimeter and Next Image 5 camera.
Yes, sir.
Not bad.
Didn't know at all.
We got this one from Renat. Renat Rush Shelton sent this one in. Moonshot Monday, April the 4th from Back Bay,
Wow, that's clear.
isn't it?
Yeah.
An iPad.
Yeah,
Wow.
on an iPad, yeah. More wires crossing each time I look. Well, if they can keep the lights to a minimum, that's the main thing, Renat. I wouldn't mind the wires as long as the lights are down. That's a beautiful
Nice
crescent
moon, yeah.
Such a beauty moon when it's like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We get this one from Hayley Croswell. This is her moon with Earthshine. Hayley is a young astronomer, budding astronomer. She wants to be following the night sky a lot more, and she's getting very interested in it.
Right on.
Her dad has encouraged her a lot, which is really nice. So, and Hayley
That's a nice
entered this.
picture.
Yeah, she entered this in our contest. So,
Excellent.
Yeah, very nice.
very nice, Hayley. Good luck.
I love the Earthshine.
Yeah.
Well, Earthshine, and she got still some detail in the crescent portion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really nice terminator there. That's a great shot.
Great shot. She's doing very well. And we got this one from Brad Perry.
Nice
Brad said,
panorama.
just sharing a few photos from Tuesday morning. I knew I wanted to get out that morning to catch the conjunction of Saturn and Mars, but the weather was looking so promising that I set my alarm for 4:30 a.m. and went out in time to do some Milky Way shooting before the planets rose. I've included settings on the images, so I don't need to share them. Thank you for that, because I have trouble with it. I'm
That's
a visual
really-
guy. I'm a visual guy. I don't do much photos, so I love sharing them, but I love seeing them.
Gorgeous shot.
Anyway, yeah, great shot. He's just outside of Durham Bridge, so he's got some really nice.
So you mentioned it's a panorama, an 11-shot panorama, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11-shot panorama, 60 millimeter.
That's amazing. And when you really think about all the shots you have to take to get that,
Attach it together, too. It's seamless. Yeah.
yeah, beautiful.
Well done.
Very nice done. Yeah. He's got this one as well. 2-shot panorama, Sony A6000, I guess. 105 millimeter f4, ISO 200.
Yeah, you got the
0.6 seconds. There he is.
Venus
So
and-
Venus, and
Wow.
Mars, and Saturn.
right there.
Here it is.
It's there, and it's going to get better. The show's only getting better. Jupiter's about to
Gonna
join the
join
lineup here very soon, at a higher height, of course. And he captured this one as well. Sony A6000, 16 millimeter f3.5, ISO 3200, 8 seconds, 12 stacked for noise reduction.
Beautiful.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah, wow,
A
That's
pony
what-
just a prancing.
that's it. Yeah, Prancing Pony. Thank you for those, Brad. Always a pleasure getting photos. We got these from Joey Craswell. This is Joey's, Haley's dad. And these photos were taken with the 8-inch Dob telescope with a 2.5-inch Barlow, or 2.5 times Barlow lens through the eyepiece at close to 400 times magnification with an iPhone 12.
Wow.
When you look at the moon...
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
It almost makes you feel like you're in a lunar lander coming in.
Just
Yeah.
yeah.
That is cool.
Really nice.
Very nice. Nice
Look at
detail.
the detail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well done.
There you are. Here comes the moonrise around the corner.
Yeah.
Earthrise, yeah.
Yeah.
Apollo 8. When you look at the moon at this magnification, it is moving so fast, it's hard to get a picture before it's out of the frame, for sure. That's for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Dobsonians are like that.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool that some of these craters are miles deep and have a peak at their center. That's true.
Yeah. You can see
They
it
are
right
miles
there.
deep, yeah. Peaks right there and there. Nice.
You can't really appreciate the depth that they are.
No.
It'd be neat sometime to find some visual. I think that the one that went around the moon took a bunch of pictures.
Yeah. The
That
LRO,
one you might be able to see some depth in craters, maybe.
the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, the LRO, it does hover 60 kilometers up, I guess is about where it is, but it does give it like longer landscape type shots, like
Yeah.
horizontal shots, so you can really see the detail. You should see
Yeah.
a picture there of what's the crater up top there?
Sure.
Is there a site for the LRO or the
NASA. If you just type NASA LRO or Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter
yeah?
on Google, and just click images from that, and there's tons of
Okay.
them there. It does. There's a really nice video there as well, musical video. But it's been going around the moon since 2009, I believe,
Wow.
and it's still going. 13 years later, we've learned an awful lot about the moon from the LRO.
Hmm.
Okay, that's Joey's. Thank you, Joey. What do we got next?
Stefan?
I forget.
Stefan.
It might be Stefan. Yes, it is.
Captain Picard.
Stefan, yeah, Captain Picard.
You can show number one.
He says a couple of captures this week to share. The first one is, well, maybe that's not the first one. Fitch is. Yeah. You still on Stefan? No,
Nope.
not. No, I don't have those ones, Stefan. I'm sorry. Where'd they go?
Well, that's the planets anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the planets anyway, for sure. I'm going to bring them up next week, Stefan.
Actually, if you look at it, you can actually see his horizon line right down there.
He said
Yeah.
5 days ago at 6:30 a.m., so that's what he got.
Well, he's
Nice.
up on the hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I must have missed them. Sorry about that. No, there they are. They're
Oh,
in
their
the-
web page.
Yeah, the web. Yeah, that's that why.
Try double click them.
Okay.
It might come up in GIMP though. Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So I think everyone. So why?
Yeah, it comes up in Opera.
I can't close this. So let's move this out of the way.
Share the screen. Or is it,
That's-
they're seeing it.
Oh, they're seeing. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just drag it out of the way. There we are. Okay.
That's why the web
That's why.
shots.
Yeah. I should have asked for JPEGs, I guess. Couple captures this week anyway. So sorry for so many. Sorry for so many, but I like these captures. Don't worry about being sorry. I put up as many as I can. The first one is the Ophiuchus, I guess, Antares region of Scorpius, which I shot on Tuesday morning, starting at 3 a.m. It was early, yeah. I was eager to shoot this part of the sky for its complex structure and diverse components. Capture details: Canon T1i with 100mm lens, 194 subs at 20 seconds each, f4.5 ISO 3200, 20 darks and 15 flats, stacked in a deep sky stacker and partridge in the pear tree. To me, it all sounds great. Sounds fantastic, but I had no idea.
And then you end up with a shot like that. Very nice.
And that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Very
processed
nice.
in Photoshop and Lightroom. And then
Just
he
double
said,
click the next one, yeah.
okay.
We'll close the
Next
after.
one.
Yeah,
There.
there you go.
Here's his next one. So then I shot NGC 7023, the Iris Nebula,
Yes, sir.
and MO 101, the pinwheel. Later Tuesday evening, and the capture details are very similar. So here's the pinwheel.
Double click. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Here it is. Yeah. One.
So Canon T1i with 300mm lens, ISO 3200 at 5.6 and frames of 10 seconds, about 165 frames for each target. Awesome, Stefan. 25 darks and 15 flat frames stacked in deep sky stacker, processed in Photoshop and final little adjustments in Lightroom.
Very nice.
His other one there was the planets. Yeah, so
This one.
is that it? This one?
That one, yeah. And then, there you go. Click
close
that.
that?
Nope.
Okay, click that. There we go.
And
Okay.
then,
And
wherever, move
where do I
those
do
over
that?
there.
Yeah, okay. It's out of the way. Here, I'll give you one shot.
There you go, and then you can move over from there. There you are.
Okay, so yeah, this one came in from Susan Kovacs Thorndike. She said, "Good morning, Chris. Last night at 3 a.m., this was back on Tuesday, my security camera captured a meteor, I'm guessing. I posted the 6-second video to my Facebook page. If you wanted to have a peek, this is the same camera that captured the aurora back in March. Remember that? She sent
Yeah.
in the picture of the aurora.
That's right.
Have a wonderful day. Be watching and enjoying your program Sunday night. So let's take a look.
Let's play. There it goes. Look at
Look at
that.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
I gotta get me a security camera because she's getting a lot of stuff. There it goes again.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a bright one.
Sweet.
Excellent. They don't get better than that.
I'll do it 3 times. Why not? There we go.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Nicely done. Thanks, Susan, for that. Okay, and I'm gonna just minimize this because I don't know what I'm doing on Mike's computer. So we'll close all these later on.
Yeah, you can
There.
maximize our center one there.
There's this one word.
Yeah, and just hit max.
And max where?
Let me see the max for a quick
Okay.
second before we go off screen here.
There we go. Anyway, I'll be hopefully be back to my own next week. But that's the shots. Thanks everybody for all those. Those are great photos.
Yeah.
If you
Well
want to
done.
send them in to us, we love showing them as well. Like we said, send them into Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com, and we'll get them up on our program.
Keep them coming.
So guys, I guess that's probably it. We're 9:07 now, so we'll probably call it an evening.
Wow. Well, that was a short night, eh?
That was a short night.
A fortnight. Fortnight, short night.
I think our audience deserves that once in a while.
Oh, thank God.
No more 1 hour family friendly. I took that part out, but it was like 1 hour 10 minutes, so that's not bad. Okay, so in closing then tonight, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us once again. Many thanks, first of all, to Mike for his helping hands make this broadcast possible tonight. Mike was the one who set this all up, so thank you, Mike.
Well, we got through it.
Mike,
The show must go on.
The show must go on. A special thanks again, of course, to Rosanna for her fun fact segments. And we'll miss you next week, but we'll catch you the week after, hopefully. Also to NB Storm and Weather Center, our faithful sharers, and Trudy as well, and everybody else out there who shares our broadcast and tells people about our broadcast every Sunday night. And we're looking for ideas, of course, for future shows. You can always send them in to Sunday Night Astronomy Show at gmail.com, and don't forget your photos as well. So for tonight then, from Mike and Paul and I, Paul. I should stop sharing my screen, shouldn't I? Am I still
yeah.
Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, you got three.
Presenting. Oh, how do I do that?
There we go.
Oh.
Stop presenting. That's better.
That made such a big difference.
I'll be glad to get back to my own. Now, the idea of the echoing tonight was because I didn't have my headset on. So normally all of your sounds, you guys, would come back through my headset and it wouldn't echo out. So that's because I'm hosting it. That's why we get the echo. So hopefully we found that issue, and that'll be out of the way next week. So for tonight then, from Mike and Paul and I, stay safe everybody. Our hats off again to all those in Ukraine who are struggling over there right now. Still got she's in our thoughts. And as we like to say, guys, keep your scopes. Point it up.
Point it out.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Cue the music. Photos down. Oh. Did I just do that?
Yeah, we're
I did.
done.
It's still showing.
Hey, showing something.